Hello friends, welcome to Malta. It's the second week I'm here in Malta and the Drummers Intensive Day has started. The Drummers Intensive Days have started. And we have a great group of guys that I'm going to introduce you to here on the channel. And we're having a wonderful time. I'm having a really great time in Malta. This is an area where I'm staying, where my apartment is, which is absolutely a beautiful area. I'm on a little hike here. Look at this. Just beautiful. Just beautiful. The weather is really nice. We had a storm yesterday, or the day before yesterday, and the skies were really stunning. Now, yes, you can see there's no clouds in the skies, but it's still a beautiful day. It's not cold. Look at this. Look at this beach. Really amazing. Crystal clear water, like wow, incredible. So, in doing the intensive day, I find myself kind of going over the same things that I go over in many different countries. Well, basically every country. And that's mainly two things: the rebound stroke and rhythm. Two things that are not shown in most drumming pedagogy, which I don't understand why, well, probably because those are two things that require a lot of effort to explain, and it's not easy to explain, and also it's not easy for the person to acquire, for the person trying to learn it. So most instruction pedagogy in Western in the Western world will focus on low-hanging fruit information, paradiddles and whatever stuff like that kind of everybody knows and is easy to grasp, right? So it's a great disservice actually to drummers, because once you get that, where do you go with it? It leaves you no room to create, right? It's just technical stuff. It has nothing to do with music per se. And I find that to be very irresponsible. So, as you know, the 3-bar cycle, a huge part of rhythm in the United States, one of the most common rhythmic motifs, is like secret information. It's become secret information. I mean, it kind of always was, because even back in the day, guys didn't know how to explain it well. I've seen guys trying to explain how to swing, right? How to swing, and they're like telling people, well, you got to sing like this, boopity boppity boop bidi bada boop, but they don't tell them what the heck they're supposed to aim for, or how they're supposed to structure this singing. It's a big secret. It's kind of like this beach here. As you see, there is nobody here. It's like untouched, except for those ships out there. I don't know if you can see that. But this beach, nobody's here. Why? Because you kind of have to know where this is. If you don't know where this is or how to get here, you miss out on this extraordinary beauty. I mean, look at this. It's so unbelievable beautiful. Over there, there's more, another cliff and another beach around this bend here. That's what's going on. Now, the willingness to learn by people who I've shown this information to is what I'm really, really, I'm very hopeful, because once I present this information, people are frankly astonished as to why they never were exposed to this. How come nobody showed them this before? When I play a recording of great drummers, or I even demonstrate it, they're shocked by the familiarity of what I'm playing, but at the same time they cannot do it right. No matter how fast you can play paradiddles, or how much coordination you have, or whatever, unless you know how to rhythmically express yourself, knowing about diminution, augmentation, and how to apply these concepts, you'll never have that pro sound. You'll always have that binary, limited sound, which I guess for some people that's enough. They're happy playing that way. But I would venture to say that really pro guys, even a guy like Charlie Watts, he somehow has that in his playing without even knowing, But the thing is, he's from another era where that phrasing was really prominent. And the cats these days, they're just flooded with binary, like nothing vocabulary. So it's really disturbing to me to see this information get blindsided by low-hanging fruit like speed and rudiments. Rudiments are fine, but they have nothing to do with being a great musician. It's a technique. It's technique that allows you to express if you know how to express. So if you just play paradiddles at 16th notes, it's like, what? And everybody's harping on that. Oh, watch how I break up paradiddles between my hi-hat and the snare. Frankly, a lot of guys on YouTube, what they're good at is social media. They should not be teaching drums. They should be teaching social media, how to make videos, how to keep viewers watching. I don't care one iota about that. As you can see, most of my videos have low viewership. I think the hardcore cats on my channel are the ones that watch, the ones that just want a quick dopamine fix of drumming. They tune out after 10 seconds of me talking sometimes, So I simply don't care. I'm not gonna, sit here and try to get you to watch, to put hooks and to make a fancy thumbnail. People should teach social media who are great at doing that. They should leave the drumming to someone else, because they do a great disservice. Look at this area. I mean, this hike is so beautiful. It's really relaxing. These rocks are kind of slippery and they're loose, so you have to, the other day I fell right on my butt. I fell down pretty hard and my butt is still sore. Not my butt, I fell like on my lower back, that's where I hit a rock. So it's tricky. but it's a beautiful walk. And why do I do these nature walks? Talking about drums. Because drumming is as much a part of being a human being as eating, as in eating different foods in different cultures. Now, should I go this way or that way? That way is muddy, so I'm gonna go this way. Drumming is a very natural thing to do because in many cultures, drumming or rhythm is a part of society. It's a way of interacting in daily life, in things like cooking, in things like walking or partaking in festivals in your community and stuff like that. So for the human being, drumming is a very natural thing. Oh, I should say rhythm is a very natural thing. It's getting a bit windy up here, so I hope you can still hear me if you don't mind. Look at beautiful, very beautiful. That's the beach we were on before. Let's continue down this road here. I think to be in nature reminds us of the things that I'm mentioning, and it gives you an opportunity to unplugging from the rat race, from all the pressures of being a musician, from everything, right? And if you can do it alone, it's better. The solitude is just, it like wipes the slate for you, and it's like a meditation. Like drumming is a meditation, okay, that lasts through your whole life. Each one of these walks is kind of like that too. Look at this. Really nice, really nice. I'm gonna try to go as far as I can over to the edge of this peninsula, see if we make it, if there's a way. This is really slippery terrain here. Watch me struggle with the terrain. Better to look at this, more beautiful. The solitude on these walks is very similar to the solitude of the practice room. In the practice room, you are alone with your kit, with your drums. That relationship in solitude is something very special. And believe it or not, a lot of guys can't take it. They can't take the solitude. Being locked up in a room, you know, when you're young, heck, you spend so much time locked up in that room. For me, that's the way it was. That you kind of like even lose social skills, or never gain them. You know, for me, I had to like gain social skills. I had to make a conscious effort to gain social skills, to learn how to interact with people. I was a complete nerd. You know, I would ditch school to go home and practice as soon as my parents went to work. I would turn around and hide behind a tree or whatever, turn around and go home and go in my practice room. Pretty brutal. And, you know, eventually my school called my parents and said, why am I missing so much school? And they had no idea. They thought I was going to school all the time. And before they'd get to work, of course, before they'd arrive home, I was practicing like nothing. So it was just a pure joy, you know, the joy of being behind the kit, the joy of playing. Look at this. This is so great. The joy of playing was not an effort. It didn't cause any pain. It was very solitary, and the price to pay is social skills. So in this case, this kind of solitude is kind of parallel, and it helps you to become a deeper person so that you can confront the tasks that you need to do in drumming. Okay, this is very perilous. Kind of another analogy to the perilous nature of solitude. To understand solitude is not easy. And a lot of people equate that with loneliness, which is a different thing. You can't let loneliness get a hold of you, because it'll shorten your time in the practice room. These types of things remind you of the beauty of what you're doing when you're practicing. You're creating this scene in your drumming. Eventually, I'm not saying that that's easy, but you do create it eventually. And that takes depth and time and a loving effort, okay, which is very important to distinguish effort to a loving effort, because a loving effort is effortless. there's no strain, there's no battle, you just love it. Now, some things, of course, will take strenuous discipline, when you really get into high-end stuff and you really have to break through barriers, it will take discipline. But like, there's ways to get around that, which with my practice system, which I have here on the channel, which I hope you saw that, because it's very, very valuable. Another thing nobody talks about is just have a bunch of weird ways to practice without any scientific basis or, studies of how to learn. So yeah, this is just amazing. Look at this. I guess Kenny Werner has a book called Effortless Mastery, and that's kind of what he talks about, which is a great book, by the way. The Artist's Way is another great book. So that's why I do these nature walks. Another thing is, so you can maybe see the world a little bit. Maybe you're stuck in a situation where you have to work, or you have a family and you can't like get up and split to another country. As a musician, there's a lot of that, splitting to another country at the drop of a dime when a gig comes up. And if you have a family, they may suffer for that, so I understand that it's hard to like pick up and go somewhere. So that's another reason, just to see the world, to see a little bit, outside the little box you might be in your hometown. So important to travel. You guys know all this stuff. So, what do you say we try to get down there? That looks pretty perilous. So, I'm gonna put the phone down because I'm gonna need both hands to get down there. Looks rough. All right, so hang on. All right, I made it down here. That's the beach where I was trying to get to. Look at this beautiful scenery. My solitude was disturbed by those tourists up there. I don't know if you can see them, but this is just beautiful. Look at this. I was touching on a subject that is quite dear to me, which is the difference between loneliness and solitude. Now, loneliness is something that can impede your performance in the practice room. It makes you not want to practice, not want to confront all the things especially the solitude of the practice room, right? So that's something to be combated against. Now, one of the things I use to combat that, because many times when you're a musician, you're traveling alone, you're meeting a group in some other country, and there's lots of time spent alone. So there can be a melancholic kind of a feeling sometimes. I'm always looking behind me so don't get tourists in the shot. There can be a melancholic feeling. Maybe this is a better angle. And you have to be careful with that because it can affect your music too. So the way I combat it is that there's a very interesting study, well, that says we are never actually alone. There's millions of bacteria and things that live in our body that we need them to survive. They are part of our internal ecosystem, whatever you want to call it. And so we are accompanied by these small creatures at all times in every part of our body, I guess. Not only that, we are never alone because there are other creatures in the world existing and living, including human beings. So we never can be truly alone, which is kind of mind-boggling. There's an episode of Star Trek where the planet is so overpopulated that they have no room for anybody anymore, and they want to introduce dying and sickness because they don't have any sickness or dying. So, unfortunately, there's tourists right in the middle of my great Star Trek analogy. Hope I don't catch them again. Better this way. So you can never really be alone, as proven now in this video, in this great seascape here, landscape. I can't be alone. There's always somebody here to ruin my solitude. So you're lucky to be in the practice room alone with your instrument. It's a stroke of luck, actually, to have the privilege to be alone in the practice room. Just remember that. It's a total privilege to have the time to lock yourself in the room with your drums and work on your stuff. Yeah, that's it. So we are continuing our journey here. To try to get to the edge of the peninsula. As you saw in the drone footage, it's so beautiful. I really want to get to the edge here to just personally see what's around the corner. I mean, look at this cloud formation over. That's amazing. That's stunning. I did get some shots with the drone of that. I'm probably going to put up. That's a great composition right there. Look at that. Except for the people. I'm going to Photoshop them out. Anyway, let's keep going here. See what's on the other side. Let's see what's on the other side. Okay. Again, a little dangerous here. It's very slippery because of the rain. It's still muddy. But doable, totally doable. Very nice. Very nice. Oh, this is weird. Kind of sideways there. Okay. Now, I know a lot of cats don't care about these nature walks, and they stop watching a quarter way through the video. But for you who are still with me, I hope you're enjoying this and seeing this part of the world not so many people get to see this part of the world. And to me, it's very interesting. So we're almost there. That's cool. That's cool. What a beautiful shot. Wow. We are almost there at the edge of the peninsula. And here we are. Oh, very nice. Look at this. Super nice. So my friends, I hope you enjoyed this little hike. I'm gonna weigh my back, make my way back to my apartment here to get ready for the second day of Drummers Intensive Day. And yeah, it's a beautiful day. I hope you're having a great day wherever you are, and see you soon. Well, okay. Typical for me. I had to go just a little further to see what was over the bend there, and I found this beautiful little spot here. Absolutely beautiful. Look at this, the way the clouds are shooting over the ridge there. Beautiful. This way, what a beauty, what a place. I hope you enjoyed this video from the bottom of my heart. I hope these videos are reaching you in a positive way. And yeah, remember, the lesson site is waiting for you. The Elite program is happening, and I have hand consultations going on. We're doing Drummers Intensive Day all over the world this year, and I hope to be bringing one to Bali very soon. We'll see how I can work that out with my visa situation in Bali. And yeah, that's what's going on. All right, my friends, the way back home is harder because you got to climb up, and well, that's the way it is. See you soon, everybody.